Just a few minutes ago, our friend Marshall Zellinger posted that the last political commercial had run on 9 News.
Oh.
It was a standing ovation. We were all pretty happy about that. Today, the big day. It is finally here. It is Election Day, and the impact around the country and around the state are about to be felt.
Yeah. You know, it's this huge buildup, and then it seems to go by so quickly. Or not.
We'll see.
It depends. Yeah. It can be election month or more. Kyle Clark is joining us now to talk about the races and what we're looking at specifically here in Colorado that might mean, you know, there's so much talk about this red wave and what the Republicans might do nationwide and what that might indicate here.
Yeah, Colorado Republicans have high hopes this year, because if they're not going to have hope this year, then I don't know when they would have hope, because a lot of things are moving in their direction. So we'll be watching to see the East Coast returns first, and looking at swing districts in New Hampshire and Virginia and Pennsylvania. And if Republicans are out to very early significant leads in swing districts there, then that certainly bodes well for Colorado Republicans, who are hoping to ride a red wave to win back some power in a state where the Colorado GOP is at its weakest point politically since before World War II. The high-profile race that is best positioned for a Republican pickup in Colorado is likely the 8th Congressional District. You have Democratic State Representative Yadira Caraveo and Republican State Senator Barb Kirkmeyer facing off to represent Adams and part of southwest Weld County. Republicans believe that Kirkmeyer is going to win this district. It's by no means a lock, but they think that that's a really good shot for them. So I'll be watching the margin in the 8th. If Kirkmeyer loses, or if the Republican squeaks out a win there that's tight, that does not suggest the Colorado Republicans are in for a good night. That might be the only prize that they walk away with. If Republicans are leading big in the 8th tonight, then they're going to have real hopes of also pulling off a larger upset in the U.S. Senate race. Democratic Senator Michael Bennet facing off against Republican challenger Joe O'Dea there. Polling has consistently shown Senator Bennet with an advantage in the Senate race, but you got to remember, he had a really weak finish against a less impressive Republican challenger 6 years ago. If O'Dea wins, you get CD8 going Republican, you get the U.S. Senate race going Republican, that would indicate the kind of significant surge in support for Republicans that would then trickle down the ballot for GOP wins in races for state attorney general or state treasurer specifically. And we're talking about this through the lens of what Colorado Republicans can achieve, because this really is their year. It's very potentially favorable for them. Democrat in the White House, that favors the opposition party. Inflation concerns, rising crime. If Republicans cannot win big in Colorado in a year like this, I think people need to start talking about, is this still realistically a purple state? Because in purple states, they go with the waves.
How do you look at polling now? Because it certainly has changed dramatically over the last 10 years. And every few years, we look to these polls and we find some successes, some failures. It seems hit and miss. Is polling something that we should be looking at still as we turn to the actual count tonight?
You know, what I react to is the way the campaigns react to what's going on. Mm-hmm. That to me is more telling. When they are behaving in a way that indicates that they believe the polling in terms of where parties and outside groups put resources, the way that the campaigns are taking an aggressive or a more passive approach, that tells me where they believe the state of the race to be. The bottom line with the polls is this. The pollsters don't want to be wrong. No. They want to figure out what went wrong in the past so that they can fix it. Have they fixed it? Well, we don't know. And the other thing that we have to remember is that a poll is just that snapshot in time. And then there's the big poll that comes out tonight. Right. And that's the one that matters. It does not mean that last week's poll was wrong. It could be an entirely accurate snapshot of the race. But I tend to watch the way the campaigns react to the facts as we know them.
They usually like the good news.
They enjoy the good news significantly, yes.
Good and they usually, because Colorado has always been, well, for so long, a mail-in ballot state. Yeah. They kind of get a sense of things earlier.
Well, they know if they're motivating their base to get out.
Yeah, the motivation,
they know if those numbers are going to be there. That's the last thing I would say. Watching tonight to see if Republicans make up the margin with late ballot returns. You've got some conspiracy theory types out there saying that all Republicans need to vote after 3 p.m. in person with a blue pen.
Oh.
That is the way that you keep the system from taking your vote. Just mumbo jumbo crazy talk, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's mumbo jumbo crazy talk if Republicans respond to it and come in with those late ballots. Because right now, at last check, Democrats had about a 40,000 ballot advantage, dwarfed by unaffiliated, who now make up 45% of the voting populace.
Yeah, they are the block.
Yeah.
They are now
They're
the block.
They're the block everybody wants.
Yep. Well, you're going to be doing it all night long, so we look forward to your coverage throughout the evening. Appreciate you taking a few minutes to sit with us.
Yeah, happy to.
Yeah,
it's always good to see you.
Eat something before.
Sounds
Not
good.
too much coffee.
All right, appreciate that.